Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about the power of names. So I'm Daniel Norton, photographer here in New York, and I make videos like this. This one is going to be about philosophy. And one of the things that we learn right away when we want to go into business or marketing, whatever, is you learn that names are very powerful, right? You use a name when you meet somebody, you make a sale, right? You want to repeat their name. It shows that you care or whatever, right? This is all part of a basic marketing philosophy. Even your spam emails, right? They try to get your name in there so that it feels like it's a genuine gesture. But taking away names is also powerful. So last week on Tuesday, there was a movement throughout the community of artists to black out, basically to we posted, the hashtag Blackout Tuesday, and then stopped posting, right? Except for reposts and that were relevant to the movement that's going on in the U.S. right now, and has been going on for a long time, but it's really going on with Black Lives Matter. And but it wasn't just about, oh, I'm not going to post today so that the other posts will go forward. Of course, that was super important. But one thing that was important that they asked us to, when we're taking the time we're not posting, to read what's being put out there, educate ourselves, learn, connect with the things that we weren't. Don't post, but just read what's happening, see, experience it, through the eyes of those who are telling their stories. And it goes back to that idea that, right, you have 2 ears and only one mouth, right? So it's like, listen, see what's out there, And one thing that really hit me was I was watching some footage from a protest march, and the leader that was leading the march was calling out names of people, some of the many people that have been brutally murdered, and with the refrain, say their name. And then the crowd would call the person's name. And, it really hit me because this is powerful, right? It's so much easier to look at something and put it into a category and be like, black people are getting killed, or this war is going on in this country, or the poor, or whatever you want to, whatever categories of things, you want to break things down to. But when you start to do that, you start to remove their humanity. And putting the names back out there was just powerful for me. I mean, these names that I may have just seen go by in a thread on Facebook or a tweet or something in the past, I had to hear it. I had to hear hundreds of people calling it out, and it made me realize or think or about the fact that these people are family members, or they have families. They might be a mother or a father or a brother. Everybody's got family somewhere. They had friends. They're people. And when we remove their name, it's easier for us to not think of them that way. So names are powerful. It made me think of how a military tactic that is used. Whenever any country goes to war, they find some kind of slur that they're going to call the other side, right? It's easier to say, whatever racial slur, I'm not going to say any, versus the people of this country, right? It's easier to kill a racial slur than it is to kill a person that is a family that is. And this is a powerful tool, a very powerful tool. This helps, the soldier to be able to do, I guess, what's needed, or what the government thinks is needed or whatever in that moment, right? They're not thinking, oh, this is a man who has a family, or a woman who might be a mother, or this is somebody's child. They're thinking, oh, that's the blah blah blah, whatever you want to call them. And the dehumanization is just as, if not more powerful than the humanization of things when you give it a name and you bring those names forward. So just like in your marketing, right? So, as I started saying, where you might, send emails out, and on each one you have, the person's name. Why? Because it's powerful, right? If you just sent it out with a photographer at the top or whatever, or client or possible person to be photographed, whatever you want to put, it would not be powerful. It's more powerful when I get an email and it says, "Hey, Daniel," Even if I know it's a chain letter, it's like they used my name, and that's powerful. And psychologically, I can't get past that, right? Or you can, but you know what I'm saying. It first strikes you, and to remove the names of people is, again, dehumanizing, and it's a powerful tool. And I think we need to make sure that we're not doing that. As somebody who served in the armed forces and has family who has, I could say one of the most moving things I've ever done is to see the Vietnam Memorial in Washington D.C., where it is simply a wall, a very reflective black wall with the names of the people killed during that conflict, and it's actually shaped, it goes up because that's essentially how the war was. And it's very powerful. People go there, they see the names, and it's funny because just thinking about this now, there's a John Prine song, so we've talked about John Prine before, Sam Stone's called, and in one of the live versions I have of it, he talks about actually the Vietnam Memorial. He talks about how when you stand there, you see the names, but you also see yourself because it's a reflection in the black, stone. And, that's quite powerful. And I think to see the names of people allow you to see a reflection of yourself. They're no longer just a statistic, they're a person, just like you are, and just like your family members are. And that is very, very powerful and sobering. So, whether we are using these terms to, unite, like I've said before in videos, if you want to be a photographer, call yourself a photographer. Use that term, I'm a photographer, or we're using it to insult or, to lower people or to make them dehumanized. Names are very, very powerful. And I think we really need to consider that when we talk and when we have dialogues and when we look at things, whatever it might be. This is really important. They're not a natural life photographer, I'll say, to say that the one that I kind of joke about sometimes. They're a photographer, and they might be a damn good photographer. And granted, there's a level of playfulness in it, in that case, but the truth is still there, right? Each individual person is an individual person, and we need to really think about them that way. And I think that will just make, for a better world in general. So it's Monday. I'm walking in the woods, and I'll come back with more photography content later in the week. So we'll get back to that. I don't see what's going on slowing down, which I think is good. So I'm sure there'll be other times where I'll talk about the situation in the U.S. As much as possible in photography terms, because I think it's important for us as photographers, to lend our vision to this. So, in any case, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe if you'd like, and I will see you tomorrow.